Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Hope you're well. Hope you're swell. Hope you're lazy. Hope you're great. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing amazing. Hope you're doing nice. Hope you're doing really nice. Oof, guys, I've been listening to the new Drake album. I'm having a fun time. I'm having a great time. Oh, wait, okay, wait. Let's go through the list. By the way, to all the Kendrick fans, leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't care, man. I come in peace. I'm just talking about songs I'm enjoying on this album. I don't want to be bickering with people about nothing. So, CN Tower, the intro was crazy. Look, it's my first listen, so I really have to digest things. You know, with me and albums, the first listen, I'll identify like some songs that I like on the first time around, but it really takes time for me to like really appreciate songs. With For All the Dogs, the previous Drake album, there's a song. Oh my gosh, Drew Picasso is that song is crazy, but it took me a while to really soak it in and appreciate it. But now it's like easily top 5 of my favorite great songs. So with this, I'm looking forward to figuring out like which songs really speak to me. But just off the top, right? Like just on my first listen, CN Tower stood out. Crying in Chanel stood out. I can't remember Small Town Fame how that went. It's 21 songs on here, you know, so Give Me a Hug is crazy. Oh my god, Give Me a Hug is a crazy song. Meet Your Padre. Oh my god, Meet Your Padre. Is that my favorite? I don't know. It might be my favorite. Meet Your Padre is crazy. Nokia might be my favorite. Nokia is an insane song. I really like Nokia. So Meet Your Padre or Nokia. Die Trying with Yeva was also a crazy song. That was a great song. Glorious was nuts. And Greedy. Greedy is the outro song. It's like 6 minutes, but it's really good. I really like it. And the tail end of the song. I think 40 produced that tail end. 40 is a master producer. His melodies are insane. His sound design, everything he does is next level. The production of this album overall, top tier, top notch. I really like this album. I'm having fun. I'm looking forward to just spending time with it, marinating, figuring out which songs speak to me the most, which are the hidden gems for me. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. On one of the songs, he had a line. I don't have to agree with the message of any song to like the song. I feel like with Drake, he's very much on this pathway of just pursuing his career. He's not really looking for marriage and all these sort of things. I don't agree with any of that. He had a line in one of his songs where he was talking about how he's not married and settled down because he's just trying to check things off his bucket list career-wise, and he's just trying to, be as big as he can be when it comes to all that. So he's not really looking to settle down. And I feel like a lot of people think that way, where it's like it's one or the other, right? Where I think people think marriage holds them back. A lot of people these days have a very anti-marriage sentiment, right? Like marriage is a trap, yada yada yada. Don't get married, don't have children, all this sort of stuff. I don't agree with any of that. I think that's a bunch of nonsense. And for me, I think it's actually the opposite is true. I think having marriage, having children actually strengthens you, it boosts you, it encourages you, it brings you to the next level. I was having this conversation with my mom a while back, and she was saying like one day when you have kids, you're gonna unlock a level of potential you never knew you had. She was telling me like, because my mom is a hard worker. She works unbelievable hours. She sleeps at her business premises. She runs a furniture business. There's been many nights where she's just slept there. I've been with her during some of these nights. It's crazy, guys. It's like she'll be working. Sometimes like the stuff needs more hands, whether it's like sewing some shit or fluffing pillows or whatever the case may be, cushions, and should be helping wherever it is, like around the clock, like the whole day, through the night. Maybe sleeps for like an hour or two, gets back up, back to work. Sometimes doesn't sleep at all, comes back takes a shower and goes back to work. It's crazy. But she was telling me that when you have children, the level of drive, the fire in your belly is different. It just unlocks a new level that you didn't even know existed within you. And I think getting married and having children is not a hindrance. It doesn't hold you back. It does the exact opposite. It empowers you because this is your family. These people are here to support you. They're here to encourage you. They're here to inspire you. There's this guy I like watching his podcast, Patrick David, and he was talking about how he was having a conversation with his son. His son's very young, and his son just said something to him one day, and he just gave him an idea for his business that if he had never had a conversation with his child, he wouldn't have had that idea. And it changed so much. So he said he's constantly learning from his own kids, and it's like, yeah, the mentality is just warped. So I just disagree with this idea that marriage is this thing that holds you back, and you can't fulfill your true potential if you have a relationship, because now you have to focus on the relationship instead of focusing on your career. And you can get with someone that helps you and encourages you and just inspires you in many ways. I watched this crazy series, this vlog series yesterday. I watched this vlog series where this guy went to Japan and he met this girl at a bar. You know, he's one of these guys that has this very bubbly, friendly personality. It's easy for him to make friends. He's very social. So he pretty much instantly made friends with this girl at this bar. And he's vlogging all of this, right? So he's documenting this, and at some point they have a conversation, and she's like, "You should come live with me." And she'd known him at that point for like an hour or two. She's like, "You should come live with me." And he thought she was joking, and he's like, okay, that's cool. And she's like, "No, I'm serious." And she's like, "Okay, I'll spend the night with you." And then she's like, "No, you can like live with me." And he's like, "Okay, I'll spend the whole day with you." "Okay, fine." And she's like, "No, like you can live with me. How long are you gonna be here for?" And he's like, I'm here for a month." And she's like, "Okay, live with me for a month." This girl was being serious, guys. She was being serious, and you know, it's risky. It's whatever. It's wild, but they did it. He moved in with her, and he documented this experience. So I was just watching that. It's like 4 videos, but there's actually 3. There's 3 videos. The 4th one is wild, but we'll get to that. But 3 videos documenting that month period, where she was just taking him around, because this girl, so he showed her apartment where she lives. You know, it's not the most lavish living space, but it's Japan, it's Tokyo. Everything's expensive in Tokyo. So I'm sure that for her, I think her apartment had like 3 bedrooms, which is, you're gonna pay a fortune for that in Tokyo, man. That's not cheap. She had her bedroom, she had another bedroom she used for storage, and then the room he was staying in. But it was like very cramped. There was a lower floor area and an upstairs area. So if you're living by yourself, it's pretty spacious. But I'd imagine if you have a family in that situation, it's quite cramped. It's Tokyo, man. Even that living space is it's probably unbelievably expensive. And she drove a Jaguar. Her car is a Jaguar, so this girl is well off. I think she's she's doing well for herself. She's doing really well for herself monetarily. So she can afford to. So while this guy's staying with her during this month-long period, he's just there as a tourist. He's not really like there for business or anything. So she's just taking him around. Like she flew him to Okinawa. Okinawa, I believe, is a. Let me Google this. Is Okinawa an island? Oh, don't want to get copyrighted. Is Okinawa an island? I think it is. Okinawa is not a single island, but rather a chain of islands in Japan's southernmost prefecture. Well, okay, here it says Okinawa Island, and then here it says Okinawa is not an island. I don't know. I guess it's a chain of islands. She flew him out there, and they were just vacationing there and hanging out, eating, seeing the sights, whatever. And she's paying for everything. She's doing, again, this is a girl with a Jaguar, 3-bedroom apartment in Tokyo. She's doing well for herself, right? So she's just paying for everything and spoiling this dude. And yeah, he's just filming it, and it looks fun. It looks nice. And eventually, you know, they have their experiences going around and hanging out together and whatnot. Eventually, the month period ends. He didn't show all of it, of course. It's like 3 videos, and probably showed very little of what they actually did. But you know, the 3rd video is like the last video of that month-long period. It's time for him to leave. It's time for him to go back to wherever. He's American, so I don't know if he's just going to travel to another country and vacation some more. I don't know. But he was like, okay, it's time for me to leave. And she was very sad. She was very sad about that. It was an emotional departure. And that video was filmed, that video was released on YouTube like 6 months ago. But he says, he actually eventually goes back. But when he goes back, he says it's been 8 months since he last saw her. So 8 months, according to him, passes before he goes back. And he goes back and they start hanging out again. And now in this video, they get married. In this video, they get married, guys. They get married. And it was, the wedding was so rushed and kind of cobbled together that I thought it was a joke. I thought it was just pranking us, but I think it was really serious because literally it was him, her, and 2 other people. Like his best friend and I guess her best friend, and they drove to this beach somewhere. They were dressed up. He wore a suit, she wore a dress, and they stood outside of a Starbucks in front of this. I don't even know what they were standing in front of, to be honest with you. And the homie, the best friend, he read from his phone like the you know, the words that are part of the ritual, the wedding script, that ritual script that you read, and do you take this person to be your lawfully wedded wife, yada yada, and sickness and all this stuff. He read all that, but always phone, and he was like, yeah, such a dumb. No, okay, let me not be mean. But he was reading it, he was messing it up, he wasn't reading it properly. So the groom, guy that's getting married, he had to step in and say, what are you even saying right now? Let me look at that, man. He had to correct him. One job, bro. You have one job. Just read off of the phone. Just struggling. Anyway, that same guy that's reading off of the phone, he was driving homegirl's Jaguar. So you know the girl that homie's getting married to. The groom's best friend was driving the Jaguar. This is before they were getting. This was before like the wedding. he was just driving them around in the Jaguar because she wanted to sit in the back seat with him because it's been a while, they haven't seen each other in a long time, so she just wants to be in the back seat with him, and the best friend is driving all in this. And this guy, man, the guy driving, the best friend, ends up scratching the rims on the curb because he just seems like a very clumsy, slow person. I don't know me, like, bro, this guy. They get married, guys. They're so rushed. They're so quickly put together. But I think they were being serious. I think they were being legit. They get married, and yeah, they're a legit married couple now. And I'm sure they signed the legal documents as well. The parents weren't involved. Like family, there was just two other people besides them, two friends. Even though I don't agree with the way it was done, I'm wishing them the best. I went into the comments and people were hating, man. People were saying very mean and terrible things, wishing them ill, saying y'all gonna get divorced. What is this? Yada yada yada. They were calling the dude childish. The dude is kind of childish. He does have some childish mannerisms, but I think the fact that, because this is a guy that I feel like he doesn't struggle with women. I don't think he has a hard time getting along with girls, or like if he wanted to sleep around, I think he'd find it fairly easy to do so. Because I was watching like that Japan vlog or whatnot, where he meets this girl. There were other girls in that vlog, and he seemed to be getting along just fine with them as well. And one of them kissed him on the cheek and all these sort of things. He seems like one of these playboys. He just seems really smooth. So I think something should be said about the fact that he left this girl after his month stay in Japan. And he could have just continued to travel and, I guess, mess around with other girls and all that sort of stuff. But he came back and he married her. So look, I don't agree with the way it was done, but I think you have to give him props for that, because I think if he wanted to, he could have been out here in these streets misbehaving, and he chose to settle down, which is commendable. I think it's really commendable. But now the question is, can they sustain that marriage? Can they sustain that relationship? I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, y'all won't get divorced. I don't want them to get divorced. I want it to work out. I just think it's kind of scary the way they did it. Look, I'm someone who's been on record saying that I don't think it takes that long to propose, to figure out if you want to marry someone. Some people say you need to get to know someone for years before you propose. I think that's nonsense. I don't think it takes more than a year. I don't think it takes more than 6 months. People would say that's extreme. I don't think that's extreme at all. I think if you can meet the necessary conditions, the time you take to do it is irrelevant. It's not about the time, it's about fulfilling the necessary conditions, right? So you just need to ascertain that this person that's not necessarily the time, but more so the experiences you share together and conversations you have. So for me, it's like, listen, if you have, like, you can learn so much about someone in one long conversation. So let's say you go out for dinner together, you talk for 3 hours, and you're having a very substantive conversation with each other. You can learn a lot about a person. I've experienced this where I'm having dinner with a girl, and we're just talking about a whole bunch of things. I love to talk, obviously. We know this. And I'm very curious and I ask a lot of questions. So I'm good at steering conversations and learning a lot of things. And I think people are very open to answering a lot of questions. If you're asking from a sincere place, you don't have any ulterior motives. And it's not a loaded question. There's no agenda behind it. What I've seen is that even the questions people say you're not supposed to ask that on the first date, I've asked these questions and I've gotten straight answers, because I think it just depends on the context, the mood, the moment, the timing of how you ask it, all this sort of stuff. And it's not rocket science. You just have to read the room. But I think people, generally speaking, girls in particular, are open to asking these questions, especially if she's actually like serious about getting into a relationship. If she's just looking to have fun and she's not taking me seriously as a potential partner, she might not be interested in just answering some of these questions. But in my experience, I've never really had difficulty having very open conversations. I've never found that to be difficult, because it's like I ask out of genuine curiosity, like, what's your opinion on marriage, children, all these sort of things. I ask all of it. We talk about sex, we talk about all these things, and it's like, if we talk about sex, for example, I'm not asking these questions because I'm trying to get in her pants. I'm asking because I'm genuinely curious. So I'll be like, so I was like listening to something and someone was talking about like, this is a real thing that happens. There's this basketball player, Scottie Pippen. His ex-wife was talking about how they used to have sex every day, literally every day, for like a long stretch, for like more than a year. They were doing this every single day. They didn't miss a day. And I was like, that sounds amazing. So I was just posing this question to this girl. I was actually with a group of girls, and we were just having this conversation. So this wasn't a date. It was just me hanging out with some people. And I asked the question, like, what's your opinion on this? And yeah, they told me straight up. One was like, yeah, I'll totally do that. And then the other one was like, maybe like once in a while, because I wanted to be special, yada, yada, yada. People have different opinions on this. Whatever. But the idea is that if you ask it in these sort of questions in an appropriate fashion, and you're not necessarily trying to get something out of it, I think you can get the information you're looking for. So I say all that to say, I think you can learn the fundamentals, the important details about a person within a relatively short amount of time. So let's say you go on dates for 2 months. You're privileged enough to see her frequently. Your schedules align. You can see her several times a week for like 2 months straight. And every time you link up, you have substantive conversations because you're being intentional, you're being serious. Every time it's like, I want to get to know this person, I want to have deep conversations. I think you can know enough. You won't know the full person, of course, that's a lifetime of work, but you can know enough. If people say maybe she's lying to you, listen, if she's intent on lying to you, that's not going to stop a year from now or 2 years from now. That's into perpetuity. So I don't think people are that cunning. I think you can always tell. There's always signs that someone's leading you along or being dubious. People are just very bad at ignoring signs. And it doesn't help if you're sleeping with the person, because sex tends to cloud your judgment. You want to be as clear thinking as possible. That's why we say don't have sex before marriage. But anyway, people don't like to hear that. But if you do things in the right way and you ask the right questions and you practice discipline, you're not sleeping with her, I think you can really learn a lot about this person and make a sober call, make a sober judgment in record time. You meet her parents, you meet her friends, all these sort of things. That's important, meeting the network, because you can tell a lot about a person by the people that surround them. Once you do all that, I see no issue. Like, I think you can propose. And that can happen relatively quickly. That could take a couple months. In some exceptional cases, it takes weeks. Emphasis on exceptional cases. For some people, it takes weeks. But I don't think it takes more than like a year, like a couple months to a year. I really don't think it takes that long. In the case of the couple I was describing, my issue is that I don't think they met each other's parents. I don't think they have that much of a familiarity with each other's friends. It's hard to say. because there's so much you don't see behind. Actually, you know what? I actually don't know what I'm talking about, because there's so much you don't see behind the scenes, because he didn't film everything. He filmed very little of their interactions together, so we probably saw 1% of the time they spent together. So maybe he did meet her parents. I just think it's suspicious that the parents weren't at the wedding, because the wedding was so rushed and then together. Also, she's from the Philippines. She's living in Japan, but she's from the Philippines. So are her parents also living in Japan, or are her parents in the Philippines? I don't know. If they are in the Philippines, then he probably hasn't met them. And he's from America, so she probably hasn't met his parents either, or any of his family. So I think that is a bit problematic. And look, marriage is forever, guys, right? The scary thing about marriage is that you want to avoid divorce at any cost. That's such a terrible thing. You don't want to go through it. So for me, it's like, how do I give myself the best possible chance at a happy marriage that works and we stay together? Like, what do I need to do? So I wouldn't want to rush. I wouldn't want to skip certain steps. And if it turns out that it takes 3 years to get married, then hey, maybe it takes 3 years. Again, it doesn't take that long. I don't think it takes that long at all. But if it had to be the case that it takes 3 years, then I'll take the 3 years. Screw it, I don't care. Because we have to do it right so that we can give ourselves the best chance of success possible. I would have a lot of anxiety if I got married in the way that they did, because it's like, okay, we don't have the necessary structures in place to keep us together if things get difficult and we start arguing, and there are a lot of people that are hoping this marriage fails. Like, for me, I want my mom to vet you, to confirm to me that you're right for me. She knows me, she knows. And she's a girl, she's a woman, so she can be like, she can tell if that this woman is seedy. She'll treat her son right. My mom is very chill. She's not a bad woman. She's very easygoing, so she wouldn't give you a hard time, but she can tell if you're like, if you're full of shit. So I'd want her to vet you, and I want you, like, and I think I have good judgment, so she'll probably like you. And then I want you to get along with her, and she can give you advice, and she can help you and encourage you, and then I can meet your parents, you know, meet your father, meet your mother, meet your siblings, if you have siblings, meet your cousins, whatever, whoever I can meet. I'd like to meet them. And then we have this family network supporting our marriage. We meet your friends, you meet my friends, and they support us. And we have that foundation. We've had the conversations to know that we're aligned spiritually, in terms of values. We understand our roles within the marriage. We define our roles within the marriage. We have all these important conversations, and we put the necessary structures in place. Because, yeah, I think there's going to be challenges. I think we're going to be tested. Our union will be tested, and there might be opportunities to leave. And I want to know that we stand firm. Like, we never leave, and we never entertain. But when you do a rush job like that, you increase the chances of divorce, guys. It's not to say they will get divorced, and I really hope they stay together. I really want this to be a success story. But yeah, man, if you want to check out his channel, he's The Broke Tourist. That's the name of his channel, The Broke Tourist. If you want to see that whole series. It's like 4 videos, so you have to scroll through his catalog to find that. But you'll see, he labeled them appropriately, so you'll be able to tell which are the videos. The first one in that series has like 1 million views, so I think it's his most viewed video. So if you just look for his most popular video, you'll find that video. That's the first one of the series, and then you can watch from there. But you can see that he's immature, and she's I think she's older than him, but she seems impulsive. But she actually had a moment of vulnerability on camera where she was talking about how she spent a lot of her life trying not to make mistakes, trying to do everything right, and now she's just at a point in her life where she's trying to take more risks and live in the moment. So is she impulsive, or is she just like transitioning from a period in her life where she was too careful and now she's just more willing to take risks? I don't know. I'm hoping it works out. God bless them. And marriage is a beautiful thing, so we want people to have happy marriages. So we'll see. But yeah, for me, I don't think I'll ever take that approach. I really want to be happy in my marriage, and I'll take the necessary steps to ensure that we can go the distance. So I'll take my time with you. Again, I don't think it takes that much time, but if I can meet your parents, meet your social network, get to know you, have the important discussions, and yeah, from that point onwards, I'll be willing to propose. And I really don't think it takes that long. But I have to get that down first. We have to have that foundation before we. And I'd like for us to have a wedding that my parents, my mom, could attend, and hopefully your parents could attend at the very least. We don't have to have a fancy wedding. I know a couple who got married in their backyard of their home. They were living together before they got married, which I also would not do. I don't think that's wise, but they were living together before they got married. So they just got married in the homie's home, and very few people in attendance. So I like that vibe. I wouldn't want too many people at my wedding anyway. So maybe just close family, not that many people, not that much stress. Then we just take that money that we would have used for the wedding and we put it into a honeymoon or whatever. That sounds ideal, as opposed to having a bunch of people over that causes stress. But yeah, anyway, plus most of my family is scattered. Like I got my niece is in China studying, and my cousin, two of my cousins are in the UK. I think two of my cousins are living in Zimbabwe, and then two here in South Africa. Everyone's scattered, man. It's not gonna work. I don't think everyone's gonna be at the wedding, so I'm okay if it's just my mom, to be honest, and maybe my brother. We'll see. But I gotta meet your people. I got to. I have to get your parents' blessing. Whoever's looking after you, I have to get their blessing. And I'd like my mom's blessing as well. So I think it's so important, man. But anyway, y'all let me know what you think in the comments. It's an interesting topic. You're not led to pray at the end of the video, so dear Father God, I thank you for this individual watching this right now. Thank you for making them whole, unique, and guiding them on the path towards peace, prosperity, and purpose. Thank you for blessing this person with 100 people in life who love them, take care of them, bring them some wisdom, and thank you for maintaining the ones who are there to do the same thing. Thank you for blessing this person with love and marriage, just sustaining that love and marriage and making me very, very happy. Thank you for blessing this person with the spirit of gratitude so they can give thanks for all the wonderful things in life. I will give thanks so you find peace, contentment, and attract even more blessings. Let your presence be found in this person's life, so not your God, that you real, that you love them, yours, be there for them. Good health, long life, and happiness. So for this person, I really care about. In mind, we pray in Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.